In this video, this is part 3, mind you, of the Subaru Outback upgrade. We add more bass. Welcome back, guys. This is Matt from Dynamic Mobile Audio and Detailing. And if this is your first video, you've missed the other 2 parts. I'll link those in the description below. So this is my 2013 Subaru Outback, and I have not decided what I'm going to be doing fully with the subwoofer. So far, we've upgraded the radio and the reverse camera. Those 2 things have already increased the sound quality drastically. Now, I also plan to upgrade to audio and speakers and probably an external amplifier. Today, we're going to do, I want to say this is going to be a 2-parter. Today, we're going to just replace the subwoofer. We're not going to add the amplifier. So this is a JL XD 202. It's actually a little bit overpowered for what this is, but the good thing is you have some headroom. You don't want to ever strain an amplifier to get its maximum potential. You want some headroom. So this will go somewhere in the vehicle. Anyway, today we're going to replace just the subwoofer, which the factory one is pathetic. This is a JL 8WV3, and it is a single voice coil. You see there's 1 set of terminals on it. 4 ohm subwoofer. Now, in a perfect world, I'm going to add this, and I'm going to have a switch to go to a completely different subwoofer and amplifier that would actually take up half of my trunk. And when I need my trunk, I can switch it back to this subwoofer. I'm still debating if I want to do that or not, but it sounds really good in my head. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to get this stuff out of the way. And we're going to go ahead and get our tools. We're going to need number 2 Phillips screwdriver. I brought out my socket set and my ratchet just in case we need them. And what I would recommend is a pry tool. I also recommend getting a vinyl or a orange one, which you need to grab. There we are. And now we're going to go ahead and remove our paneling. First thing we're going to do is we're going to remove our floor, which we did. You can keep this plastic if you'd like. I don't see any reason why you don't need to. You do need to remove it. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and remove this piece. Take our pry tool. We're just going to start prying up lightly. Should pop right out. You can actually just use your finger if you'd like. So there were 2 clips. One here and one here. We used our pry tool. We popped those up. Remove this, set it aside. Next, we're going to go ahead and get this Phillips screw removed up here. Starting to rain on me. I don't like being rained on. So we're going to go over here in the corner. Let's see. Pry this little plastic piece off. Once that's removed, it's going to expose either a 10 mil or a Phillips. I'm just going to go ahead with my Phillips. It's here. Very easily removed. Okay. Set that aside. Now the weather stripping, or the beauty panel, we're just going to go ahead and pull up. You're going to use your hand, go underneath it, and pull straight up. Set that aside. So somehow my video got corrupted. So what I was saying was you're going to remove that clip, there's a Phillips back in there, and then there's one right behind here under the cover. Once you have those three removed, this kind of peels back, this whole panel. It's got some clips along here. You don't think you remember, you'll pull back this clip and this kind of hole peels back, and if you wedge something, it'll kind of stay out of your way. I didn't go ahead and remove everything up here so you could pull the panel off completely, but in a nutshell, that's how you get to this subwoofer. And a negative on these terminals. Some subwoofers have this, some don't. So what this is telling me is the one towards the outside facing straight down is the positive. The one on the inside is our negative. So what that means is, and it's the same for the other side, that means easily in my 2013 Subaru Outback, that means that yellow is positive and red is negative on one end, and black is positive and green is negative on the other end. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these, again, the line out, right? Just confirm. So yellow is positive and red is negative. We're going to take the longer one because it saves me some hassle. I'm going to cut the end off, and I'm going to feed this straight into my new subwoofer. Again, I'm probably not going to leave this like this. But my curiosity, and as probably as much as your curiosity, wants to know if you can do this. Now, people have done this with dual 4-ohm voice coils, which means you wire both of these to one subwoofer. You don't want to wire both of these to one set of voice coils. Don't do that. And I don't think it's going to increase that much, but we'll see. So we're going to tuck that back for right now. I'm going to take my new speaker. I'm going to slide it in here. Oh my gosh, that thing is wanting to fight me. I'm going to line this up as straight as I can and drill my pilot holes for my screws. So I'm going to get my drill. Alright, that's in. Let's see how it sounds.
Drop it hard.
After that quick test, no improvement. Absolutely none. You still have way more bass up front than you do back here. That might be a crossover thing in the amplifier, but there's just no. It needs an amp. I'm not even going to joke about that. So if you're just going to think that you're going to replace the subwoofer in here and it's going to wake it up, unfortunately it's not. Not from what I'm seeing, not especially from what I just heard. So the next step is to add the amplifier, which I guarantee you will wake up back here. Okay, so we already figured out that the factory amplifier is no good for running an aftermarket subwoofer. So, in this part, we add an amplifier. So starting off, I've already noticed that our best bet is going to be this grommet right here on the passenger side. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut the tape carefully. We're going to cut that back so we can feed our new wire through the end of the grommet. That way the grommet will expand. It will be parallel with all the rest of the speaker or the wires, and then we will wrap it with either test tape or electrical tape. Going inside, so we're actually going to take the glove box out. That's weird. That's not good. We're also going to remove the side panel. So we're in. Oh, that's not exactly what I wanted to do, but it will work. Now get your tire shine. Doesn't matter. Spritz everything down. Work it in with your finger. Work it in with your nozzle. I would not advise this if you're doing 0 gauge, but 4 gauge, yes. I'm okay with doing 4 gauge. So we're gonna pull it in, pull it up, press it in there, and I feel it's already slipped in. So we're gonna keep pushing. Alright, I could probably got about a foot in there. Phew. So we're going to go ahead and see if we can find that inside. Alright, we're back inside. We're going to... Actually, matter of fact, I already see it. It's up here. Pull this a little bit. I can get it down here. Alright, ran out of steam last night. I just didn't get things. I didn't get to where I wanted to be. So, day 2. We're right back where we started. If you go to part 2, we go over, or actually, if you remember earlier in this video, we went over replacing the subwoofer. We did a test. It didn't increase the volume, sound quality, anything. So I just pulled all my panels out once again. And what we're going to do this time, this grommet, we're going to remove the wires in that, and we're going to feed our new speaker wire. This is 16 gauge, nothing crazy, but it will do for what we're trying to accomplish, especially for 200 watts. We're going to feed that right through there, and then follow it down. Excuse the mess. Down under to the front. And then there is a flap where I've already ran my 4 gauge, my wake up wire, and my RCAs. And they're going into exactly where all the wires are coming out to the factory amplifier. The new amplifier is going to get stacked right on top of it, and I have just enough clearance for that JO amp to fit there. Those XD amps, you can look up the specifications for how thick they are or wide. You might be able to fit something else there, but I'm telling you, I have no clearance from the new amplifier to the rail where this slides back and forth. So we're going to go ahead and get to the back and run that new table.
thing's gonna have to come. Come on. Alright, got all the tangles out, jeez. Oh, come on. Jeez. Third time's the charm, right? Alright. Alright, that's better.
So all my cables have been ran. I ran my ground wire to one of the seat bolts directly behind us. These covers are a nightmare to get off, and I actually broke mine. So be very careful with those. Try to pry from every angle. Even an additional set of hands might be helpful. So next thing we have to do is connect all of our wires. I do want to give myself some service slack just in case I want to get back in here, pull it out. I am going to make a bracket for it, not today. If I don't like where it is, I'm going to let my wife move the seat a little bit. I'm going to watch it, make sure it is adequate clearance before I permanently mount it here. I've already set my crossover to 80 hertz. You can set it to full range and do it from your radio. However, one thing I've discovered over the years, it used to be a bigger deal back in the day, not as much now, but it used to be when you got your battery changed or you went in for service and they disconnected it, the radio would lose its crossover settings and its EQ settings. Not so much nowadays, but I just think it's better to just send the full signal through the radio and then do the tuning through here or a DSP, digital sound processor, which I may actually end up adding mine to this system. I haven't decided yet. Come on. That's better. I like to get the big power wires done first because they do take a little bit of finagling to get in properly, and I really should have started with the positive. I don't know what I was thinking. Alright, that's better. Now 4 gauge is a little overkill for this amplifier, but I'd rather go a little bit bigger. Why pink? Because it's the only color I had. I can't find my red, and I can't find my yellow, and I can't find my blue. And I don't want to do black. So, pink it is. I like to bunch it up to make a thicker wire so it has more to catch. There we go. Alright, our input really doesn't matter because this is a subwoofer. So we have our input. Alright. This double insulation wire is nice, but it's also a pain because you can positive, negative, cut the wire's actual insulation when you go to strip it back, which is not good. Alright. Now, really, I should keep these off because I'm going to be tuning with my SMD DD1 tuner. If you don't know what that is, they're awesome to have if you do even an install a year, maybe 2 installs a year. It's a great tuning tool. But keep in mind, we're going to be running this not even at its full unclipped potential. Because this is putting out 300 watts and the subwoofer is looking for about 200 watts RMS. So we don't want to overdo it. Don't worry, I'm going to clean everything up. I'm going to zip tie this. Last things we got to do is we have to go to the dash, install our remote wire, tell the amplifier to wake up. And once we do that, we will install our fuse under the hood and test. Okay, so it's been... Say hi, Yoji. That's my dog. So it's been about a month and a half, maybe a month, since I've done the upgrade. And it's increased the low range slightly. It's better than using the factory subwoofer. Especially with the time alignment that I can do inside the head unit, where I can say, hey, the subwoofer is X amount of inches from me. So I'm talking about time alignment. It's about, by the time the speaker plays a sound to the time it reaches your ear, there's time in between there, and you can set your speakers up for that. Using that and doing a 180 phase, which is also a setting on the head unit, really brings it to life. It helps with a range of music, rock, some hip hop. We're gonna get into that momentarily, but rock, blues, country, things of that sort. It does add a layer of volume to the music. Rap, hip hop, stuff with a lot of bass. This is where it starts to, you start to have an aha moment. The sub will play, but it gets lost. Let me explain. The front mid-range on these front doors is so intense that even with the aftermarket radio, I still can't tone them down enough where I can hear the subwoofer. I can hear the really in lows, and even when I do, it's not loud. So what am I saying? I'm saying the pros. Would I do this again? Yes. Better than adding just a subwoofer to the factory amplifier. Absolutely. Adds some more dynamic range, especially for the backseat passengers. I have sat back there. Hi, Kiko. That's my other dog. We're getting ready to get coffee. Cons. It's, if you are used to a 10-inch, a 12-inch, sealed or ported, doesn't matter, more than 500 watts, you're not going to install this and be happy. You're not. If you are not a bass head, this is a great upgrade to add what is still lacking in your music. I'm going to do what I said in the beginning of this. I'm going to add another amplifier, and I'm going to have a switch, wherever that switch may be, and I'm going to have the ability to have a full-size sub box in the trunk with that second amp. And when I need my trunk space, I switch that. I use that rocker switch and shut down that amp and wake up the amp we installed underneath the seat, and I use the factory sub location. That's what I want to do for me. That's what's going to make me happy, because there are some days I just want to go full tilt with my music. I don't want to have to worry about blowing a sub, which you do have to watch if you're going to push it a little harder like I do. In fact, this is an aftermarket camera that I use. The picture is way, way better. But what I'm saying is, that works for me. If you're happy with the factory, great. If you're happy with doing what I did here, great. But I'm telling you now, if you are used to a more fulfilling bass, anything, can I help you? Anything below 40 hertz, you're gonna want a regular box. I am ordering a gentleman's fiberglass sub box. I believe we're getting that paid for. I don't think he sent me the invoice yet. I need to check on that. That's for a 10-inch sub, and that's for the left-hand side. That's going to be my last. That's going to be my last chance before I go full-size box. And you know, a W3 should fit into that box, so that might work out for me. But as far as this project goes, it was a success. At this time, I'm not changing. I think I've noted this in a previous video. I'm not changing the factory Bauer & Wilkins speakers or the Bauer & Wilkins amp. I'm very pleased with the quality I can get out of them with an aftermarket radio installed and able to set my crossovers and my EQ and everything. I'm very surprised that I could get that out of factory speakers. Now, will I change them? Probably. As hard as I push them, even without distortion, I can't see them lasting more than another year, maybe two. Because I just don't think it will. But we'll see. We'll see. They might be a pleasant surprise. I am gonna pull them out. And I'll do another video on this. I am gonna pull them out and do sound dampening material behind them to cushion their reverberation. Can I help you? Just to give them a little bit more warmth. But that's it, guys. Hopefully this video was helpful. Hopefully the other two parts were helpful to you as well. If there's something you would like to see done in this 2013 Subaru Outback with the audio or even electrical, stealth switches for how to turn on aftermarket lights without adding switches that you can readily see, stuff like that, leave it in the comments below. Hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. But thank you for tuning in. Hopefully this was helpful. If you have any questions, again, comment below.